Hi everybody. It's even hotter this Sunday than it was last Sunday, so I gotta do this video and get into some shade. Okay everybody, we had a really great Powercast this past week where Mike and Beres discussed a lot about depression, and I felt like that would be a good way to um, finish off this discussion we've been having all along here in the past couple weeks about depression. And I was determined that I would not, before I listened to the Powercast, I was determined that I would not need to talk about the subject again. I'd talk about something else. But Mike said something in the Powercast that made me feel like there was one more thing that I should probably mention. Um, Mike said that the gospel doesn't teach us what to think, it shows us a new way to think. Um, and That's certainly true for me when because I do attribute my discovery of the gospel of grace and peace years ago. I attribute that was the fundamental thing that happened to me that caused me to deal with my lifelong depression from the time I was born until 16 years old. And that whole way of thinking that where my whole world was gray and uh, without warmth and without color. Um, Once I came to see my thinking had to change, and it did, and that's when my world started having color and warmth. Um, that the gospel was fundamental in that happening. Uh, so I do have to say that, and then I also want to say that a month and a half, 2 months after I made that radical change in thinking, my life was starting to take off for me. I was enjoying new friendships and relationships much, and they were deeper than I'd ever experienced, and love and acceptance and things. And about a month and a half, 2 months after that change in my thinking, I woke up one morning and the old thinking was back. And for a fraction of a second, part of me recognized it, and it was like this part of me was saying, "Hello, old friend," and was ready to embrace it. But the aware part of me now, the awake part of me, said, "No, no, no, you don't do that. You don't do that." And remembering that reminds me also that when I did change the way I thought, part of me was going, "No, you're going to leave reality doing that," and it couldn't have been further from the truth. Um, my living in a world of unrealistic expectations was not reality. It it kept me separated from reality, and at first it was foreign to change my thinking. But once that became the norm for me, that old familiar thing coming back, part of you embraces it like an old friend you haven't seen in a while, or a long lost dog or something. But I discovered in this time a couple things. First of all, in that month and a half, 2 months, I stopped judging and started observing both my world without and my world within. I started observing things in the world around me and things going on within myself. And that observer took hold. And that observer part of me that was starting to grow recognized that um, part of us likes the familiar, no matter how bad it is for us. But once you become aware of these things, you do know that you have the power and the choice in how you choose to think about things, because you are aware and you understand more now. And so I just want to say that I was surprised that a part of me actually wanted to go back to that old way of thinking, but I caught it very quickly, and I was like, couldn't do it. But I'll tell you, this new way of observing, it was very educational, because in my observation of the world around me, one of the things I observed is religion, regardless of whether it is Christianity, Islam, or anything else. Um, if anybody takes it seriously, it will make them depressed or dangerous or both. And so in the world outside of me, the world without, the one that I'm navigating through every day of my life, I have observed a lot of things like that, and I can see things that I did not see before. Um, so anyway, I think my point here for this whole thing is if depression is something you've known most or all your life, it does become familiar. And oddly enough, if you've gone without it for a while and it comes back unexpectedly in some way, part of you, we I just found that it's common, it's normal in us to gravitate to the familiar. And so when you know the familiar is no good for you, you've got you do have a handle on it. And so that's about all I want to say. I don't think I'm going to be talking about this in the next video. All right, everybody, have a revolutionary week.